Hi, my name is Aaliyah. I'm going to be analyzing Singularity by BTS. This is a solo song sung by BTS member V. I chose this song because of its amazing visuals, but also because of the themes and the messages behind the lyrics, which are really beautifully represented in the music video. I'm going to begin by showing you just 1 minute of this song. It's the middle of the song, and it shows a lot of the symbols and the themes that I'll be discussing. To me, this song and video is all about wearing a mask or changing oneself to be loved by the world. This picture is a shot from the music video, and it's a good representation of this theme. We see not only V wearing a mask, but a single earring that says loved. The lack of earring on the other side shows that this love is not reciprocated. The mask is a symbol because it's like putting on a new face to hide his true self. It means that he's changing who he really is to be loved and accepted by the world. In the video, we saw V controlling the masks around him, which is like him controlling his different identities. The background dancers represent each of his emotions, which he instructs their movement through dance, or the qualities on each of his masks. And that actually shows how he is in control of the different masks, or how he presents himself to the world. The black tear is a symbol of death, but it's not about someone else's death, but rather his own. By wearing a mask and changing his identity, that's like the death of his real self in order to be loved by the world. The meaning behind the song is in line with BTS's theme and UNICEF campaign called Love Yourself, which I will discuss later. Another symbol in the music video is ice. Ice, or frozen water, is symbolic of time being stopped. In a scene in the music video, there's a split second where V steps on ice very carefully. The ice is another representation of this mask. We see it cracking in the music video, which symbolizes how the mask will break eventually. There's a lyric that says, "Spring will come someday, the ice will melt and flow away." And that basically means that one cannot maintain a fake persona forever. Just as ice melts in heat and becomes water, a mask cannot cover the real you behind it. In this lyric, spring symbolizes the true self by saying, "Spring will come someday." It is saying that your true self will come through. We see instances of the ice breaking many times in the video, and that is to symbolize that the time is passing. With time, ice will melt, and all that will be left is water. Toward the end of the video, there's a scene of V staring at his reflection in the pool of water. That is symbolic because after the ice melts away, he's staring at his true self, and the mask, which was the ice, can no longer serve its purpose. Flowers are a symbol of spring. We see V offer a flower to each of the masks who move away from it, or reject the coming of spring. As mentioned with the symbolism of ice, spring is when the ice melts, or when the masks can no longer serve their purpose. The real self will come in spring, and we see the masks rejecting the flowers, which actually shows the fear of having to take that mask off. The season of spring is also symbolic of bringing new life after winter. Spring is when the ice melts, and so when we see the room of flowers in the music video and the puddle of water, which reflects V's real self without the mask, that shows the time that has passed, which eventually unveiled the mask. Essentially, the mask cannot undo time or spring, and the real self will come through. This is a YouTube video by the channel K-Pop Junkie, and it does a really good analysis of this symbolism.
Masks we see are the many faces he puts on in order to hide that true self, to avoid facing who he really is. The masks form a heart around him, as if these facades are the only way he can love himself. He offers this flower to each of the masks, but they refuse it. And because we know that these are his own disguises, we know it's him denying himself. The colors of the backdrop represent his emotions, trying to deal with his own acceptance. Sadness, anger. We see and hear the mention of spring coming, melting the ice into a pool of reflection. When he finally does reflect, that's when he realizes he's lost himself. At the same time, the background goes white, just like the color of his masks. The background is blank. The frame is upside down. He no longer knows who he is.
So this video tells the story of a man who hides his true self behind various masks, and then the coming of spring, or the melting of the ice, unveils his true self. At the end of the video, V is left all alone, showing that despite trying to change himself with his masks to be loved by others, he is alone. After a certain point, we stop seeing the background dancers in the music video, who represented his emotions. His emotions are now gone, and so is his mask. So he's left all alone. The last scene in the music video is that of the black tear falling down the mask, representing how he lost himself trying to change to be loved by other people. As mentioned earlier, it represents his own death, despite being surrounded by flowers, which symbolize spring or life around him. The title Singularity is all about being alone, and the song reflects the loneliness that one experiences when trying to find their identity. So most of the song is sung in Korean, but here are some notable lyrics that, when translated to English, really reflect the theme of hiding oneself behind a mask. 나에겐 목소리가 없어 means I don't have a voice, is seen in the video with how the masks and how his real identity, his real voice, is silenced. 내 목소리를 너 위해 묻었잖아 means I buried my voice for you. While it's unclear who the you is, it seems like who it is he was trying to be loved by. It could be society, it could be his fans, it could be the world. The meaning is the same for anyone because it comes down to say that he gave himself away to please and to be loved by someone other than himself. 나는 날 잃은 걸까? 아니 널 얻은 걸까? Means, have I lost myself or have I gained you? This is one of my favorite lyrics because it questions the worth of having worn a mask at all. He asks, was this love worth losing myself over? 결국엔 언젠가 봄이 와 얼음들은 녹아내려 헬로 가 means spring will come someday, the ice will melt and flow away, meaning that after winter, the snow or the ice will be melted by spring. The mask will be gone, and so it's basically saying that someone cannot hide behind the mask forever because the real you is going to come forth. Singularity is a dark song and a video, but the message behind the song and its themes really speaks to fans. In the video, we see V altering and changing his true self with masks in order to be loved by others. The ice is also representative of the mask, but as it cracks and melts with the coming of spring, the masks are gone. His many emotions are gone, and all that is left is the melted ice or the pool of water. He ends up alone at the end of the video, despite changing himself so much to be loved by others. And this proves that no matter how many masks you wear, the real you will come through. This is in line with BTS's Love Yourself message, which is actually the name of a series of BTS albums, as well as their UNICEF campaign. It's a relatable message to all of us because it allows us to also get insight on BTS's lives. RM, the leader of BTS, actually wrote the song, and it is telling of BTS's journey growing up in the spotlight. They felt like they had to wear different masks and change who they are to please others, like their fans, their agency, and the media. It's also a really universal and relatable human experience to change yourself to fit in with people as we grow up. By reflecting their feelings in this song, not only do they share their journey, but they relate to young people around the world who are struggling with their identity. With this song, they convey that it's important to love yourself and embrace your true self before anyone else loves you too. It promotes self-love and loving others as well. Thank you for watching my presentation.